Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're watching or listening to this. Welcome.
I hope you're enjoying the midweek. It is Wednesday. Well, for us, it's Monday,
It's
Wednesday for y'all.
It'll be Wednesday for you, or Thursday, or whatever day you decide to watch it.
We
don't care.
Might be a year in the future.
Yeah,
we don't know.
You know, it might be the apocalypse, and this is the
Could
only podcast you could find for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Welcome to the second full episode of Heard About It.
We've kind of fixed a lot of things here. We kind of organized the setup a little bit better. Our producer guy's here, so
Jason.
the audio's going to sound better. Jason.
Let's give a small round of applause to Jason.
Yeah.
He can't. I don't think he can. He can hear that.
Yeah.
You can't see or hear him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We might eventually get a mic for him.
we might. See if you want to know. If you want to see more of Jason, let us know. But yeah, it's a great day. I had a great week. I do want to make an announcement. I'm sure some of you saw. We got a lot of overlap, but I did a stream this past Saturday with my good friend, whose also name is Jackson. Not this Jackson, another Jackson. He's a Twitch streamer, goes by the name of Mr. Crispalicious. That's Mr._Crispalicious, spelled how it sounds. We're gonna do some partner streams of Alan Wake Remastered. He's never played it before. I'd love to get ready for the sequel coming out. He's a really great guy, awesome streamer. You should check him out, Mr._Crispalicious, spelled as it sounds. Really check him out, guys. He's hilarious. He won't just be doing streams with me. He does streams all the time of some other games, some Pokemon, some Smash. But we'll eventually do another stream of Alan Wake Remastered. And we're not that far into the game. We're only in like episode 2, so you should check it out.
Well, we're going to get started with these topics today.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So first up, we got the Flash box office.
Flash box office. Summer movies. Summer movie season has started. And it started weird with the Flash because no one really watched it.
Nobody watched it.
And that's a big deal, especially considering with the weird transition period. It's a weird movie. I haven't seen it, but we've heard a lot about it. It's a weird movie in a weird
DC's
phase.
probably in a very strange space right now.
Yes.
Some of you, if you haven't heard somehow, DC is basically completely redoing their franchise, and they're starting an entirely new universe, saying that basically all their previous movies are in a separate universe and they don't count. So that's like one way to just throw your mistakes away.
But I think, I haven't seen it, of course. The Flash was a way to logically reset it.
Yeah,
and they have now gotten the amazing James Gunn to take over that. I'm sure many of you know James Gunn directed The Suicide Squad. He has done all 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. But no, he has the whole plan. He has a whole video out on, I think it's on YouTube. A whole video out on YouTube explaining his like 5-year plan for the future of DC. But the question remains, how much is that a safe plan for him with the Flash?
You never know. Another
failure.
Warner Brothers tax write-off.
But I think, look, he's clearly had some movies
that are amazing.
Insured. What I was going to say is, it's not a question of is the new DC universe in jeopardy because the Flash did so poorly.
Yeah.
He still has. I think Superman Legacy is very much clearly coming out. It just got cast. He's writing the script. We'll talk about that later. But yeah,
when is that coming out? Do we know?
I don't know if he has a release. He has weird. I need to go back and check the release dates. He has rough release dates scheduled and just an order. But he has a plan, and I think, look, DC movies. There are people that want to see DC movies get made, and they just want them to be really good.
That's me.
And that's good. I think I really want a great DC. I really want a great DC.
Just
universe.
think of that was Christopher Nolan, but think of the Dark Knight trilogy. Those were so good.
And the original, and I'm actually one of those people who really like Man of Steel. I actually think that's a really. I know you. I actually really like Man of Steel. I think Henry Cavill was a great Superman. I think there was a lot of potential in the Snyderverse, and it just, with that Justice League botch. It just got out of hand.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of potential with the DC movie universe.
Oh, definitely. Like,
And a lot
think
people
of
see that.
how successful the Batman was, even though
Yeah.
that's not connected to the DC cinematic universe, but still, that was
People
so successful.
love these
It
characters.
was, yeah, they're really cool.
Now, I will say maybe James Gunn with this failure, I think the one thing maybe they're gonna say no to him is he talked a lot about how he wants the TV shows, the movies, and video games, all of the DC media to be connected into his universe. And I've heard a lot of people say like he can't do that.
No.
That's impossible.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's gonna go well because, like,
yeah.
I mean, you gotta have like your Injustice 3. Like, I mean, how is that gonna be connected to the DC universe?
If they make it, but
I don't know. They actually, I heard about this. The developers of Injustice and Mortal Kombat, they had recently sent out a poll. I don't know if it was recent. It was like a long time ago. That they said either Injustice 3, new Mortal Kombat, or like a Marvel versus DC kind of like fighting game.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that would have been so cool.
Yes.
Obviously, we have Mortal Kombat 1
coming out,
which
Which
is
is
terrible naming scheme, honestly. It's,
I kind of explained it, but no,
fine.
but I do think, and I don't think it's like every DC game will be part of his DC universe. I think he wants to make video games that are part of his universe. But I think maybe the studio's looking at him and saying, hey, you got to do something with what happened to the Flash. And maybe a lot of the Flash's failure, Ezra Miller was part of that, obviously, a lot of factors. But I think it could have been the fact that there was this announcement of a new universe, and the thought came into a lot of people's heads, why do I have to watch this movie that's part of a universe that's about to get killed? And so maybe that was the thought of, but I'm planning on maybe watching it at a later date just to see.
I'll probably watch it when it comes to
I've heard
Max. Oh, I hate
Max. Yeah,
It's
it's. I mean, I get it. I understand why they changed the name. Max, HBO Max. To
but
Max.
I mean, it's like how many times have they switched now? Like,
no. I mean, it was
HBO
Max.
Go and now, and then it's HBO Max, and then
I think
now
they're
it's
trying to move the
Max.
HBO because it's not just HBO.
Yeah, I mean, you got all Warner Brothers and all that
But
stuff.
on the note of the James Gunn universe coming out, Superman was recast to. So bad. We should have known the name before going into this. We apologize. We have it right here.
So yeah, Henry Cavill's been replaced.
Replaced by David Cornsweet.
Yeah.
If I'm pronouncing his
He
name
does. Just by the looks of him, I haven't seen him in anything.
Yes.
He looks like he's gonna be a good
right.
Superman.
He looks the part.
James Gunn said that he wanted a younger Superman because this is about like earlier Superman. Henry Cavill would be too old for that. I also think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. I think that if they had done more of his like Boy Scout kind of like lighthearted actual Superman in the movies, then I thought it would have been way better.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And I think Henry Cavill could have done that. I think he
definitely.
just got it. Like I think he could have done the Boy Scout.
The directors just didn't give him a
Yeah,
chance.
it was
you
a
know?
Zack
Snyder kind
wanting
of,
to do the
dark
dark Superman,
which I don't think it didn't really work too well.
I mean, I think it kind of works. It's a very different Superman, but I do like that. I mean, James Gunn is wanting to do the more lighthearted Superman. It's going to be interesting him doing this more lighthearted Superman, given how cynical a lot of his movies are. Yeah. But James Gunn can do.
You got like Chris Pratt as.
Yeah, he could do a lot of the lighthearted, wholesome stuff.
He's like one of the few directors, like we saw this with Guardians 3, is that he can take a really like tragic movie and also make you laugh at the same time. Like he's just phenomenal in that way.
Like he's a great director, and I am still a little nervous about him being the one writing Superman Legacy, the new Superman movie coming out. But I mean, no, the new guy looks really great. He looks the part, and I do like that it's someone.
Sorry, he said 4 years ago that he wanted to be Superman. Like that was the ultimate goal.
That actor?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he loves the character. It seems, and I like that it's maybe not I think he's done some stuff and has been in some stuff. Not like a A-lister, super well known. actor. You
Yeah.
know, I like that
hope
it's someone.
I
kinda
do hope
new to
that's the way DC is going, because we saw when Marvel was first coming out, we were getting actors that we didn't even know of, and now like look at them,
Yeah,
they're some
it
of the
was-
biggest actors on the planet. You know, like that's what made Marvel movies so good, was their casting department made such good
Yes.
decisions as their characters.
It was smaller actors that hadn't
Yeah.
been in a ton of stuff, and I mean there were. I mean,
He's like-
Robert Downey Jr. had been huge before that.
Chris Evans was a part of some stuff, right?
Chris Evans was Human Torch.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
So there were some other big actors who had done some kind of big stuff, but no one, you know. But
Like Tom Holland.
yeah.
I mean,
and then also with that Superman casting, Lois Lane got casted, but she actually I don't know if you've heard of the Marvelous Miss Maisel. It is the main girl from Marvelous Miss Maisel, which I haven't watched. My mom loves
I know
that
about
show. I've heard she's amazing. I think she could do an amazing Lois Lane from what I've seen from that show. So I think that was amazing casting. Still up in the air whether this character is in the movie. We still haven't gotten a Lex Luthor casting, if that's in the works, or if he's gonna wait on
that could be a later villain.
Maybe a later
I
villain.
hope he understands is that we don't want the huge villains first, you know. At least
Yes.
that's how it was for Marvel. Like when Marvel was really successful, like they alluded to Thanos all throughout
Yes.
the original like movies, and then they finally had him at the very end, which I personally think Marvel should have ended there. But
Yeah.
that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. No, but I do think Lex Luthor's such an important character to the Superman mythos, and I'm just thinking like
Definitely.
what a character he could bring in for the beginning. But I'm just trying to think. I heard a lot of people throw around. There were photos of Robert Downey Jr. being bald, and you know a lot of them were like, "Oh, he should be Lex," you know.
I mean, that could be.
I will take
To have the mascot of the competing
Yeah.
franchise as the a lead villain in the other one. I
It'd
mean,
be funny.
That'd be interesting.
Honestly, I'll take anyone who isn't Jesse Eisenberg. I like Jesse Eisenberg. I had nothing wrong with Jesse Eisenberg. He should not have been
That's
Lex
the
Luthor.
one who's like Lex Luthor right
He
now.
used
right?
the redhead Lex Luthor in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Snyderverse and was truly terrible. I don't know if you've ever
I
seen
feel like he
Batman v
tried to be
Superman.
like Joker or something sometimes. Like
It was supposed to be like
strange.
unstable. It was supposed to be an evil version of Mark Zuckerberg. They like was the version of Lex Luthor they're going, and he said, "Hey, he played Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
Might
he
as well
did.
cast him."
Just
I think that was their mindset.
oh yeah, that's right. Because
Because he
Social
plays
Network, yeah.
The Social Network. And so they were like, wait, our Lex Luthor's kind of supposed to be this more young tech genius who's
Yeah.
kind of unstable. Let's just have the guy who played the actual unstable tech genius. But no. Yeah, I will take anyone who is not just older. I mean, he needs to be older, Lex Luthor. But
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a lot more serious too in like the comics and animation.
yeah, I mean, he's more menacing.
Yeah,
I mean, he was kind of a wimp in Batman v Superman.
yeah.
But no, I'll be interested to see what villain he uses. And I think it should be Lex, because I think he's a good first villain for Superman.
Yeah.
I think bringing out Zod,
No,
Man of
definitely
Steel,
not Zod. Yeah. No.
because it's just Superman. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all. Which I don't know. I mean, because Superman has an interesting villain list, because it's like all his villains are big. You know,
They are. I mean,
they're all
he's
these-
also like the
'cause he's
strongest
super
hero.
strong. So all his villains have to be these like world-ending cosmic threats, you know, like Brainiac and Darkseid. And so that's where it gets confusing about who you have to bring in when you're doing an origin story.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
I hope. I don't know if it's going to be really good. There's no trailers or anything, but
Yes.
I hope it's really good.
It has a lot of things going for it.
Yeah,
So it
for
has
sure.
Yes.
For sure. All right. Well,
Yeah.
segue to our next
You
topic.
can't just say segue isn't a
it's
segue.
Yeah,
Jason.
it's fine.
You gotta work on it. You did well in the last episode.
Yeah, the last episode was good.
FNAF movie trailer.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a huge fan of FNAF. Walker's.
Okay. I'm gonna put this out there before we start talking about this. I think FNAF is cool. I don't do jump scares. I'm not big with horror. The only horror movie I've seen in theaters was Nope, which was amazing. Love Nope. But I can't do jump scares. FNAF is just. I mean, it's not just jump scares. Don't yell at me in the comments. Me say I did not. I've scratched that from the record. FNAF is not just jump scares. It is a lot more. I don't do jump scares, and there's a lot of jump scares in FNAF, so I don't watch it. Though I have watched a lot of people, play it, and then I cover my eyes when I realize they're about to lose. I watch Jackson play it. So I really like
I'm really bad at
story.
it, but I love it.
So I may toughen up and go see the movie. It looks good, but yes,
really promising.
new trailer dropped.
So yeah, our discussion question is like,
Can FNAF be brought to a wider audience with this movie? And I think absolutely yes. I think that's a given with, you know, it's going to be a big movie. I mean, Blumhouse is doing it, the Megan producers. It has a big company behind it.
I see a lot of parents. They don't even know what FNAF means. You know, I say that in public as if people know it.
Yeah, let's also, for those who don't know, I've just realized we've been just saying FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's movie. If you don't know the acronym, sorry about that. Five Nights at Freddy's.
FNAF.
FNAF is the acronym.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. But yes, new trailer for the movie adaptation coming out in October.
It looks really good.
It looks really good. I think it's going to do good. It's probably going to be a lot of people's first horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Like a ton of kids are probably going to go watch it as the first because it has become this like.
I don't think it can be R. If a lot
it's PG-13.
It's gotta be.
I don't think they can make it an R. I will say the one concern I had with this trailer, watching it is, and I'm not gonna try to spoil any of the lore right now. However, a lot of the appeal of FNAF is to quote the great Matt Pat, lore, and you know, and it's the way it's presented in the games to me is what makes it exciting. And the way you kind of have to find the info and like the backstory and what really happened in the history, and the trailer kind of just spells it out for you a little bit. Something that took a while for you to realize throughout the course of the games.
That is true. Okay, so what he's talking about is about the missing children, right?
And again, we don't want to spoil too much, but there is this whole story with the children and the animatronics.
They've been murdered. It says in the trailer.
It talks about it in the trailer, but that's something, right?
Okay. So basically, everything that's not the game. So like the books. Now we have the movie. Matt Pat's talked about this a lot. Matt Pat's a huge FNAF person. I mean, not just FNAF. He's on Game Theory. Go check him out.
Yes.
Obviously, you probably know who he
Yes.
is. So basically, those extra IPs, like the books and movies, they're actually not canon to the actual story. So basically, they are they're used kind of as a way to show what's in the story through, I don't know what to call it, like not illusions. Like,
or like,
I mean, it's kind of like just like resembling what's going on in the story with different type of characters named differently, and it's like they kind of just show off what's going on. I think that's why they're having like a linear plot in this movie, like kind of go straight out. I mean, a lot of people have played the first game.
Yes.
They know what it is, and this is basically kind of going to be like the first game.
But I do think to me, it feels like it could be such a good series, and it doesn't feel like if you really wanted to do this right, I think you would want to slowly reveal this. Like you would want to maybe reveal what's going on over 3 movies instead of just saying, "Oh, this is what." I think because
that's fair.
A lot of horror comes from its unknown, and it's when you know the why. I think that makes it a little less scary, and it's that honestly, I think the scariest part of a horror movie can be the realization of what something truly is, or what the horror can come from, like, oh, this is actually what's happening, and it's that's when you get really scared.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, look, it still looks great. I'm not
good.
poo-poo. It's still, they have a good cast. It looks like a strong.
I feel like they definitely chose the guy from Hunger Games to kind of like touch into that audience a little and say like, hey, look who we have. Like come watch our movie.
And they also got the guy who played Shaggy in the live action, which also I think touching into that audience. He's playing after. Matthew
Lillard. I didn't realize that was Shaggy.
Yeah, you didn't know he played Shaggy?
No, I didn't realize.
He's live action Shaggy.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah, so they got so they are appealing into that. I don't know. It's a good cast.
I'm totally fine with that, but a long time ago Google has this problem where they'll just take things from articles and make it a fact, right? And even though the article is just saying, what if, like, it would be so cool if this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So this article once said that Willem Dafoe was going to play Afton, which that would have been so cool.
It would have been amazing. But remember, apparently the internet isn't always right, which a shocker.
Except for us, we are
Always right. Always quote us.
completely.
Yeah, that's gonna go wrong horribly.
Yeah.
But no, FNAF movie looks great. And speaking of
Like adaptations of
video
games
game
and stuff.
adaptations, The Among Us
There's-
is getting a TV show.
Yeah, there's going to be an Among Us TV
going
show.
to
We don't
be-
know what platform. Do we know what platform it's going to be on?
I mean,
not.
we have no idea, but
It's by the people who did Infinity
Infinity Train,
Train,
which-
which is a very.
we've heard really great. People have said
It's not
really
that
great.
popular, but it's
It's-
very
yes,
good.
It received really great reviews before it got axed by HBO Max for
because
no
of the tax
reason.
write-offs.
Ah, the tax write. It was a dumb,
very stupid.
stupid reason. But yes, Inner Sloth has gotten the go ahead, and they're making an Among Us TV show.
So we've actually done some discussion questions this episode, trying to make it a little bit more structured. For this one, we were talking about how if Inner Sloth would realize that Among Us is kind of like past. Now, it sounds really rude at first, but the way I was thinking about it was that I think Inner Sloth has such great talent. We saw it with Henry Stickmin Collection. Like, that was such a fantastic game that was just based off of a Flash game, right?
Yeah, it was a remaster.
And it's so funny. Like, it's so good. And then they're spending so much time in Among Us. Like, I feel like if they went and started to make another game, they could have so much success, especially with the older audience. I know a lot of the younger audience still plays Among Us and still loves that game. Like, I get it. It's an appeal to the younger audience. It's fine, but I think that they can have so much talent elsewhere.
I agree, but also to their point, Among Us is still making a ton of money. Like it is still one of the top games in the App Store. Like it sells. They have stumbled. This small studio has stumbled into an amazing franchise, and Among Us is still an amazing game. It is such a fun game.
It's fun.
It's a fun, fun, weird version of Mafia. It's a version of Mafia that's really fun. And I think there is a lot of potential in an Among Us TV show.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I think that it would have to be horror if you really want to do it right. I mean, it's a.
I mean, Inner Sloth's Infinity Train, wasn't that funny?
I mean, it's kind of, but I mean, Among Us is it's supposed to be like a comedic take on The Thing. I mean, that's kind of the idea, and so I think you got to riff off that classic, sci-fi horror for it to work. I just think the question, Inner Sloth, it's only 3 people, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy to make a game, and so, I think that it gets lost. So it's definitely make a new game. If you had the option to take a lot of time and money to make a game and you don't know if it's going to hit and you don't know if if it was going to be worth it, or I can sit here, do light maintenance on a game that is already making us so much money, and we do the merchandise and the and it's you might call them sellouts. Okay, they're making money, and that's that's what you're supposed to do as a developer, and it's
not a lot of developers get that opportunity.
Yeah, and not a lot of developers get an opportunity to just stumble in. Okay, Mojang, they're a talented developer studio.
They're the best-selling game of all time.
They have the best-selling game of all time, and they still they don't in the DLC and the updates. They don't need to make another game.
No,
they're fine.
No. Well, I mean, people were calling Tears of the Kingdom Tears of the Kingdom Minecraft 2, but
But I mean, so there are a ton of studios that look at Valve. Valve stumbled into Steam, and now they have no need. Would we love for them to make a new game
Portal 3.
that isn't just a demo for the Steam Deck or a VR game? Yes, we would love that. But they're making a ton of money with other business, and so there's not a need. Because there are studios, their main income comes from new games, and eventually their games stop making money.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why everybody's trying to make one game for the rest of your life. Like Apex, Fortnite, all those games, they're designed to make you try and play them for the rest of your life. I don't think when people get older, they realize what's going on, and they don't want that anymore. So, I mean, obviously there's always going to be a younger audience that doesn't realize that.
Yeah. But I don't I understand. Yes, I would love to see Inner Sloth, make a new game, do something more interesting. Because I think the Henry Stickmin collection is amazing. It's hilarious. Among Us is a great game. So they're a really talented studio.
If they can get good voice actors for it, I think it could be a good show.
Yeah,
Because
and
I think that's
show could be good.
because there's not even like the animation style would be so simple. You don't need to have to like animate mouths moving as long as you just have good voice actors.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep the art, like it seems like it's a very doable show.
Yeah,
and I think it has a good chance of being very successful.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I have no, I understand fully why they wouldn't make another game in a long time, and
yeah, that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just have so much talent. But
yeah, no, they're extremely talented. Yeah.
On the topic of games and movies as well.
Yes, well, we're still on this topic.
Still, yeah. So Iron Lung, if y'all don't know about it, it was a horror game released back in 2021, early 2022, sometime around there. And Markiplier played it. He loved it. I'm sure y'all know who Markiplier is.
Yes.
Which is actually we're gonna.
You probably know the story we're telling right now. So.
Yeah. And so Markiplier decided he wanted to go make a movie of this, and so he's making a movie based off this horror game called Iron Lung, which is actually basically you're in the submarine and you're trying to find these like ruins.
Yeah. If you
for
haven't
this corporation.
Yeah. If you haven't played it,
it's really cool.
Go and play, or at least watch Markiplier's playthrough of it. It's a fantastic game.
It's so cool.
It's short. It's super short. The playthrough is like less than an hour. It was super short. I believe it was.
There's also a lore video he has.
There's a lore video
because there's an update to it.
I mean, it was it was kind of more of a like side project for the developer, who I think had done more like first person shooters and stuff. But it is an amazing game, and I'm so excited to see this movie coming out. But we were going to talk about if Markiplier can really pull this off and really bring such a small game to the mainstream.
Yeah, obviously he'll bring it all to us,
yes.
like the ones who know who Markiplier is. There's still a lot of people who don't know who Markiplier is, regardless if he has 38 million subscribers.
Yes. There's still 7 billion people on this. Yeah, there's still a ton of people on this planet who've never heard of him or just aren't aware, and even fewer people who know what Iron Lung is. And so, but I do think maybe that has it going for it. The fact that Iron Lung isn't as well known, and it's not it seems like this new thing.
I really hope for its success. I love Markiplier. He said his mission was to prove that he doesn't need like some huge producers or like stuff like that to show Hollywood that amazing creation and creativity can be done with simple things like this. Yeah, I mean
he is a super Markiplier is a super creative person. I mean, he is one of those people. I mean, I've been really impressed that he has gotten so much success by being so much him. He isn't one of those guys that is I'm gonna check every box and need to do everything I need to do to be popular. No, he's gonna go off for a year and make a channel and delete it. He does Unasat, he does In Space. I mean, he does these crazy projects that are always great because he's always just doing it because he loves it and because he believes in the project. And I think, he said, I don't know if you saw, he looked exhausted when he finished Iron Lung. He sent a video when he said he finished filming it. He looked rough.
Yeah. Well, he recently uploaded a video to where his eyes were completely red. He also posted that on Instagram, and everybody was freaking out.
Yes.
It was on Twitter as well. Everybody's freaking out. They're what's going on? Is Markiplier dying?
He wasn't dying.
He was dying. So apparently he's going for the most blood in an R-rated movie.
Yes.
And he got some of that in his eyes. So.
Yeah, so, and most blood I think he can achieve with Iron Lung. I don't want to spoil, but yes, there's a lot of blood in Iron Lung.
Then you see that from the title screen.
There's a blood ocean.
That's the submarine you're in. You're
going through a submarine of blood
on the moon.
It's a really good game. I really believe in him though, because it's a great. And that trailer we saw where it was the opening game cutscene and it turned into the shot of the submarine he's using for the movie.
He also said a new trailer's coming out soon.
Yes, and that's
let's talk about that.
And hopefully it doesn't come out Tuesday.
Yeah, it might be already out
when you're listening to this. Who knows?
Don't watch it yet. Let us talk. No,
Let us talk about it.
You're fine.
No, you're good. You're good if you want to watch it. And you know, and if it ends up looking terrible, you can yell at us.
Yeah.
Actually, we watched the trailer. It's gonna be bad. Oh. I'm excited though. I mean, and the fact that it's gonna be a theatrical release is such a big deal for
Yeah.
because In Space and Heist are great movies.
Could you imagine In Space in theaters? Like
with the
people
little
just
clicker.
everyone's yelling at each other. No, choose that one. Okay, so In
became-
Space is a choose your own adventure
Yes.
movie as well as Heist, and
He did these weird. He filmed them all, like he directed them.
Yeah,
but
they're
it's like
really
a
well done.
first person camera. You're supposed to be the main character in these movies, but you get to make decisions. And Markiplier
on
plays. Yeah, you should check them out. They're on YouTube. They're amazing. They're super fun.
They're really cool.
They're really cool.
At the first episode of part 2? Markiplier really showed his acting skills with this character.
It's the end of part 2.
End of the episode of the first episode of part 2, right?
It's like it's the end of
I thought
episode
it was
2.
because I never finished part 2,
No.
and I remember seeing it.
If you're curious, if you know Markiplier but haven't heard about the Iron Lung thing, and you're thinking, how can this YouTuber
Be an
do
actor.
be the
Look up,
him.
just look up Old Man Markiplier.
Old Man Markiplier
From In Space.
From In Space with Markiplier. I mean, he's an amazing actor. He's an amazing director. He's already proven himself. He's already like this isn't him proving like he is, as Dexter said, proving to Hollywood.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to prove himself that he is this auteur. I mean, he has done some fantastic work, and so this is, I think, more of a victory lap to really finally prove that he's legitimate. I am curious though, while we're on the topic, if in the credits, in the thing, do you think he'll use Mark? I don't know, Fish. How's you pronounce
It
it?
would probably like Mark in quotations Markiplier
Plier.
Fishback. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious, if he would use his real name or his YouTuber name, because it's one of those things where, do you want to keep those two lives separate, or do you understand that there's some marketing in the name Markiplier?
This is kind of related. That's also something I want in the FNAF movie. I wanted to open with warning: this movie contains jump scares, flashing lights, and loud noises. Just that's how the game's opened.
Yeah.
They said this game, and also if Matt Pat is phone guy, that would be so cool.
Back to
Well,
yeah.
They have the video though. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
It's because in the trailers we saw the video of the woman talking. It's like, "Welcome to Freddy
You
Fazbear."
gotta do phone guy. If they don't do
if
phone guy
guy's
in
not
the
it,
Five Nights
the
at Freddy's
fan
movie,
base is going to be so mad.
I mean, that's like the most iconic.
Yeah,
One of the most.
It's like, oh man, Markiplier said he's not in it,
Yes.
sadly. Daco, also prominent FNAF YouTuber. He toured the set, so he might be in it before they finish filming. So he actually might be in the movie.
No.
But
We have some really great. We mentioned, we have some really great movies and projects coming out this summer. We mentioned it earlier. In the last episode, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Oppenheimer, Barbie, but Iron Lung is slated to come out this year.
I thought you were talking about us, as in we're making something. Really
We are
good.
not making a movie.
What are we doing?
We are not. Trust me.
I
you
wasn't
don't
told
wanna
about
see
this.
No, but yeah, there's some great projects coming out later this year. But and we're not going to dwell on those because we already talked about those. But yeah, I saw Asteroid City yesterday. Actually.
When did that come out? Like, is this new or something?
I think it's been a few weeks. But it was fantastic, and there were some. All the trailers this showed. We got some really good.
I've never heard of it.
It's
I have a coworker at work. She keeps telling me about it. Just how confusing it is, and tells me to watch it because I'm going to be confused.
It's so confusing. It's I'm sure Wes Anderson, who's one of the weirdest filmmakers I think still working today. But yeah, it was really weird but really great. But there were some trailers. Mission Impossible trailer showed up, and look, I've only seen the first Mission Impossible. That Mission Impossible trailer for the new one made me want to go and watch all the Mission Impossibles just so I could watch that, because that one looks so
For
good.
the new one?
Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1. That looks...
I'm not a huge fan of them. They're
Yeah.
fine. They're for, I don't know. I don't know who they're for, honestly.
Dads.
Yeah.
Dads who grew up with them.
Yeah. They're fun, I guess.
Yeah.
The last one was pretty good. I remember seeing that one, but I don't think I'll go watch this one in theaters. Yeah.
But no, we have some... movie industry, really back at full force. I think we've done a good job. I think we fully maybe recovered from COVID. The only people that need to play catch up are Marvel. They really need to do something here.
Did Secret Invasion good reviews.
Actually, I watched the first episode.
I saw the first minute because of that. Like, did you hear about this online thing? So basically, if you went to the secret, or what is it called? Like, theinvasionhasbegun.com or something like that.
Ooh.
It was some Marvel website, huge, like, probably like ARG or something. Not ARG, yeah, ARG. And so you had to find the passcode. People eventually found it. And then when you typed in the passcode, you got to watch like first 5 minutes of Secret Invasion,
that's
like a
cool.
week before it came out. I watched like the first minute. I didn't really
Yes,
watch
I mean, it opened.
spoilers.
It had a really cool opening. I mean, the premise of the Skrulls is a really cool idea and a content, and I'm glad Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury is finally getting a project where he is the main character.
Oh yeah,
because I feel like that's such a strong character.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've been really impressed so far. I still need second episode, and I guess third episode will be out.
Oh, they're doing weekly
when
releases.
we release it,
Okay,
because
that's
they're still
right.
doing weekly release.
That's
so I've yet to
Did
catch
you hear
up.
Netflix actually might be doing this? This is old news, but Netflix might be doing
Well, they experimented with that with the Stranger Things season 4 with releasing.
I think that was because they
separate.
were actually still working on it, and they just had to get it out. Like
No, because it was. I mean, it was only a week apart. Was the release?
Was it entire? I thought it was like 3
No,
weeks.
it wasn't. It was a small gap, but I think they did. I think that was maybe them dipping their toes in the water.
Okay.
Of,
I think after season 5 of Stranger Things released, because that's their biggest show, right? I think after that releases, then they're gonna start doing weekly rollouts for their own stuff because they're losing so much money by just having people subscribe for a month and just going away.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I think Netflix.
You just make the fake account, get your free month, and then
Yeah. I know a lot of people that still do that. Well,
what? Yeah, that's all.
I think we are out of topics
we are
today.
out of topics and out of
So
stuff.
we will be back next week.
Yeah, and don't forget, we do want to make an announcement. It's really hard, practically coming up with topics every week, but we have a solution that's also helpful for you. We'd love to hear what you want us to talk about. So
Or
please,
just ask us questions too.
just ask
That'd
us
be so
questions.
cool.
Yeah. So please leave a comment in this video about what you want us to talk about next week. We'd love to take it. We'll take suggestions. We'll take anything.
And if you want to support us, the probably best way you can is either to subscribe. If you're on Spotify, follow, and then if you're on Apple Podcasts, I guess just give like 5 stars.
Yeah, subscribe. Please leave a good review if you like it. If you don't like it, leave a bad review. Just be constructive.
Yeah.
But yeah, please tell your friends. We would love to keep making more of these. So yes, be on the lookout for the next episode.
We'll also have our producer do a short this
Yes, our producer will be making his debut in one of our shorts. Quick about it. Check
actually-
those out if you haven't.
week. It'll actually be out a day before today.
Yes,
So
we'll be.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you still need your Heard About It fix and you're like, it's not Wednesday yet, check out the Quick About It. We release multiples of those between episodes.
Those are still quick about it, even though they don't have the intro. I'm experimenting with some stuff.
But yeah, no, watch the Quick About It. They're great.
I said this last week. We're gonna say it again, make it a thing, even though it's so cheesy. You ready? Remember, this is where you heard about it.
Jason is probably laughing so much in the other room.